Welcome to our channel. In this video, we are going to talk about history of the internet. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. It's easy to take the internet for granted in this digital age, where connectivity and technology are as common as food and water, and to ignore it beyond your last tweet. In truth, only a small percentage of the population truly comprehends what the internet is, let alone its beginnings or how it has evolved to attain its current capabilities. Although this information may appear to be unnecessary, it is prudent to spend a few minutes learning the principles, just as you would learn the fundamentals of a car, because the internet will surely be the tool that defines the 21st century. Birth of the net. Conceptualization. The internet was conceived in 1962 by J.C.R. Licklider of MIT as a galactic network that would connect a group of computers so they may access data and programs regardless of where a single computer was located. Experimentation. After MIT researchers Leonard Kleinrock and Lawrence G. Roberts expanded upon Licklider's idea and theorized the feasibility of such an invention, they managed to successfully link two computers from Massachusetts to California via a low-speed dial-up telephone line in 1965. Development. By 1968, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, had steered the technology and its development under the ARPANET project name, home the project's structural and technical parameters, architectural designs, and key components like the interface message processors, and home the project's border aspects, such as its structural and technical parameters, architectural designs, and key components like the interface message processors, IMP. The Stanford Research Institute linked after the first host computer was connected to the first node at UCLA in 1969, and host-to-host messaging was formed. For host computers were connected to ARPANET after that, with the addition of two nodes that worked with application visualization projects. Sophistication. As more and more computers were added to the network, function and utilization was the focus for improvements. Software was subsequently devised and the Network Control Protocol, NCP, was implemented, thus leading to the need for more applications. In 1972, the budding network saw its culmination in the construction of the ultimate coordination tool, electronic mail. Integration. Soon the ultimate goal of ARPANET turned to incorporating other separate networks through the foundational idea of internetworking architecture, where they may be independently designed for a unique interface. This would be referred to as interneting, and throughout the late 70s and early 80s there would be extensive development of LANs, PCs and workstations that would not just lead to more networks, but to more modifications of the initial model. Evolution. As the internet evolved, so did the increasing management concerns, including router inadequacies, the shift to the transmission control protocol/internet protocol, and issues with a single table for every host when they were all given names for easier public usage. This was addressed by the development of the domain name system, which would simplify the process by appropriately dividing hierarchical hostnames into internet addresses. Mainstream. By the mid-1990s, the internet had established itself as a reputable and well-supported medium that had been used not only by researchers, but also by the general public for personal communication. What brought about the World Wide Web? Documentation. The free promotion and sharing of research and data was a major role in the successful development of the internet into what it is now. The concept of an online, networked community hinged on a fresh, dynamic, and real-time exchange of knowledge. Community through the internet was founded by academics. It was the efficient transmission of ideas that allowed the average person to become involved and contribute to its development through his public presence. By establishing a large community, they also established a large discussion, and their peer-to-peer ties aided in the advancement of technology. Commercialization. As vendors began to supply the network products, and the service providers the internet connections, we have seen a shift in the popular demand that now treats the technology much like a physical commodity due to the systemic use of browsers and search engines and the World Wide Web for commercial purposes. The first use of a computer network. In 1965, Lawrence Roberts made two separate computers in different places talk to each other for the first time. This experimental link used a telephone line with an acoustically coupled modem and transferred digital data using packets. When the first packet switching network was developed, Leonard Kleinrock was the first person to use it to send a message. He used a computer at UCLA to send a message to a computer at Stanford. Kleinrock tried to type login, but the system crashed after the letters L and O had appeared on the Stanford monitor. A second attempt proved successful and more messages were exchanged between the two sites. The ARPANET was born. Lawrence Roberts was responsible for developing computer networks at ARPA, working with scientist Leonard Kleinrock. Roberts was the first person to connect two computers. When the first packet switching network was developed in 1969, Kleinrock successfully used it to send messages to another site, and the ARPA network, or ARPANET, was born. What is packet switching? Packet switching is a method of splitting and sending data. A computer file is effectively broken up into thousands of small segments called packets, each typically around 1500 bytes, distributed across a network, and then reordered back into a single file at their destination. The packet switching method is very reliable and allows data to be sent securely, even over damaged networks. It also uses bandwidth very efficiently and doesn't need a single dedicated link, like a telephone call does. The world's first packet switching computer network was produced in 1969. Computers at 4 American universities were connected using separate mini-computers known as interface message processors, or IMPs. The IMPs acted as gateways for the packets and have since evolved into what we now call routers. Packet switching is the basis on which the Internet still works today. What is DNS? DNS stands for Domain Name System. It is the Internet's equivalent of a phone book, and converts hard-to-remember IP addresses into simple names. In the early 1980s, cheaper technology and the appearance of desktop computers allowed the rapid development of local area networks, LANs. An increase in the number of computers on the network made it difficult to keep track of all the different IP addresses. This problem was solved by the introduction of the Domain Name System and #40, DNS, and #41, in 1983. DNS was invented by Paul Macapetris and John Postel at the University of Southern California. It was one of the innovations that paved the way for the World Wide Web. Tool of the 21st century. What once began as a data communications network and evolved into a global information infrastructure is now a technology that manifests itself in every person's life. It dictates how we communicate as a society, how we learn, and how we will continue to evolve. You should take credence in the fact that knowing this brief history will help you understand the trajectory we are all on as a globalized, interconnected people. The beginnings of email. Email was a rapid but unintended consequence of the growth of ARPANET. As the network increased in popularity and scope, users quickly realized the potential of the network as a tool for sending messages between different ARPANET computers. Ray Tomlinson, an American computer programmer, is responsible for electronic mail as we know it today. He introduced the idea that the destination of a message should be indicated using the @ symbol, which was first used to distinguish between the individual user's name and that of their computer, i.e., user at computer. When DNS was introduced, this was extended to user at host.domain. Early email users sent personal messages and began mailing lists on specific topics. One of the first big mailing lists was SF Lovers for science fiction fans. The development of email showed how the network had transformed. Rather than a way of accessing expensive computing power, it had started to become a place to communicate, gossip, and make friends. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go, and also press the bell icon so that you can get notification about our new videos. If it was helpful, then share it with others. Thanks for watching the video.